Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today's topic is how to grow up from bad parenting. And so this video will speak to you if you think that you've had a bad childhood because of your parents' parenting style, or if you were neglected, or if you basically feel like you had the short end of the stick when it comes to being raised by your parents. So, how to grow up from bad parenting? The answer is quite simple, so let me put a spoiler first. It's by deciding to be an emotional adult. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. What's actually happening under the hood when your body is an adult, but you're still emotionally a child? And this will apply to 99% of you. If you haven't done mental health work with a therapist or a life coach. So, your body grows and you're an adult, and you turn 18, you turn 21, you gain more legal rights to do whatever you want, you get freedom, and you get the capacity for being responsible for your own life. But at the same time, on the inside, your emotional capacity still remains as a child. And when you're a kid, let's say you want to live in a city that's not your hometown. You can't really do that by yourself. You can't sign an apartment lease. You can't work a job that'll make you afford the rent. And you can't even get your own cell phone or bank account depending on your age. So, as a child, you can't be fully responsible for your life. But when you reach a certain age, you get all these rights, right? You can work, you can get a place on your own name, you can buy a home, you can do whatever you want, you can buy stock. And that means you have ownership of your life, and you don't rely on other people to make your life happen, right? Your parents can give you rent money, but if needed, you have the ability to be self-sufficient, and that's what responsibility means. Now, let's turn back to the emotional aspect of it, right? When you're a kid, you rely on the world to give you education about what the world is like, right? So, you bother the family pet, your dog, and then the dog bit you back, and then, whoa, what the heck? Your dog just attacked you and you feel really hurt and you're scared, right? And then adults come and say, oh, dogs are animals, and so if you don't treat it with respect, and if you pet it too harshly or you bug them so much, they will fight back at you. So you have to watch out and give space to dogs you see on the walks and such. So at that point you understand, oh, so that's how dogs work. Maybe you can do the same thing with cats, right? So you gain more experiences, like, oh, you pushed someone and then they start crying and then you feel kind of bad, and then, oh, it turns out that's something called guilt. And oh, I'm super excited and giddy and then I feel suddenly super sleepy, and turns out that's being tired and you need to take a nap. There isn't really a manual on how to adult in the world, right? So on the internet, there's a lot of posts about like, oh, how come schools never taught us how to do taxes, and what your W-2 means, and what income tax bracket am I in, and such. So how to adult isn't really taught for emotional aspects as well. And so here's the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to how emotions interact with the world, right? You feel sad and you cry because you feel sad. And adults come and your friends come and then they give you a hug, and then you feel better as a result. You got attention and you got care and you felt love, and oh, I feel a lot better now. I'm gonna stop crying. When this happens, what the world is implying to you is when you're feeling sad, you need hugs from other people to make you feel happy again. And you might have an experience like you are on a date with your significant other, and then, oh, they did something and now you're mad at them. And when you get the experience of them buying you flowers and apologizing and then being really good to you, letting you select all the Netflix you're gonna watch, then you get the understanding that, oh, if I'm angry at someone because of something they did, they need to do something to me to make me feel better, right? So what you learn as a child ultimately ends up being, oh, external things determine how I feel. If I get a paycheck, I'm gonna feel happy. If I eat a chocolate fudge cake, I'm gonna feel happy. If I see my weight on the scale, I'm gonna be not happy. If my significant other doesn't want to spend time with me, I'm gonna be unhappy, right? So it's this notion that the world needs to do something in order to affect me. And this is where the change, this is what you need to recognize in order for you to really reach emotional adulthood. What you're actually learning is that you have the capacity to realize that you can go to a different emotional state. That is the learning that you got from the experience when you got hugged when you were sad. The point of being hugged and getting you to feel better is less about when you're sad, you need a hug from other people to feel better, but it's more like when you're sad, there are things that can be done, and then ultimately you end up becoming into this zone called feeling better. Okay. So there's one emotional zone called the sad zone, and there's another zone called the happy zone. And when I got the hugs, I went from this emotional space into this emotional space. But that condition doesn't need to be there. You can directly recognize that, oh, I'm feeling bad right now, but you know what? I have full authority over my own emotions. And I know that I have the capacity to feel happy, so I'm gonna stop being sad. When you're really super excited because you have an external opportunity that happened, like something, you got a really good job offer, and then you're like way too excited and you think the best thing that happened to your life, maybe you can feel like, oh, I seem really excited right now. And I think that's because I got this job. Yay, I'm happy. But at the same time, I know I'm capable of getting more job offers. And this job offer isn't going to be the only job offer in my life. So I'm gonna stop overjoying and I'm gonna calm myself down a little bit. Because as you grew up and experience different emotions, you know that you have a selection as to how you want to feel. So what I'm suggesting right now is you want to make the decision to be responsible for your emotional well-being. You want to control your emotions. You want to choose what emotions you're gonna feel at the moment without the external world doing anything to you. And why does this matter so much in terms of bad parenting, right? So you're a child and your parents didn't give you the emotional support that you needed as a child. So as you were growing up, you didn't get the education that you needed in order for you to feel a range of emotions that you would have gotten if you had a better parents, right? When you're in emotional childhood, your body has grown, but emotionally you're still a child. You expect other things to happen in order for you to feel different emotions. Now, your parents neglected that child when they were a child. You were feeling sad. Your parents didn't do much to take care of that sadness inside of you. You were feeling disappointed. Your parents didn't really give you the support that you needed in order to feel better from the disappointment. That same disappointed, sad you is still inside of you. Your body may have grown, but on the inside, you still feel disappointed, you still feel neglected. If you don't take care of your own emotions, if you're not responsible for your own emotions, you're effectively doing that to yourself. You're becoming your parents to yourself. You're neglecting your own inner child. So, a lot of people, they have bad parents growing up and then they get married and then they end up becoming bad parents too, right? So, there are lots of cases where that happens, and effectively, without even getting married, as long as you continue being an emotional child as a result of bad parenting, you're continuously applying that same kind of parenting style to your inner self. So with that, what does emotional responsibility and emotional adulthood actually mean? It means taking responsibility for your pain and your joy. And taking responsibility in this term means recognizing that you have full authority and freedom and choice when it comes to feeling pain and joy. You don't rely on other people to give you pain. You don't rely on other people to give you joy. You don't expect other people to make you happy. You make yourself happy. You don't expect others to make you feel secure. You choose to feel secure even when there is no external force that makes you feel secure. And you realize that you are the only one who has access to your emotions, right? So going back to the hug example, you are sad, you got hugged, you feel better. But who made the decision to feel better after getting hugged? It's you. So nobody really has influence over your emotions. You may think that winning the lottery makes you excited with joy, but it's actually you allowed yourself to that limitless excitement and joy because a certain condition was met. So right now, if you're not an emotional adult, you're locking your emotions behind bars. Really specific conditions that say, oh, you're only allowed to feel this emotion when this circumstance is met. And then, oh, it's met, gates open, and then you feel that emotion. And then, oh, that wears off, and then the emotion goes back into the cage, right? So, I'm saying, liberate all of your emotions and choose when to feel them without the need of anybody else. If you want professional help to go over these kinds of problems with you, you can hire me as a life coach, and I will put down contact information in the descriptions below. Thank you, and see you in the next video.